A lot of rappers talk crazy in the booth but never really lived that life. However, Julio Foolio is the opposite. He sparked one of the deadliest wars in rap history and survived 4 shootouts, but most fans have no idea how wild his story really is. Today, we're breaking it all down and diving into why his ops are terrified. Foolio came up on the north side of Jacksonville in one of the most active areas of the city, called 6 Block. He told Cam Capone News that he lost his first homie at just 15 years old, and by the time he was 20, he had already lost 15 of his friends to the streets. After he got kicked out of school in 9th grade, Foolio was sent to an alternative school in op territory, and that's when some crazy stuff went down. On the first day of school, someone from the op hood got killed waiting for the bus, and Fio started dissing them all over social media. A lot of people at school thought Foolio had something to do with the hit, and he ended up getting into a fight over it. Throwing hands is one thing, but after the last bell rang, the situation took a wild turn. Foolio hopped on the bus, but the ops were following him, and while he was walking down the street, someone started letting off shots at him and his homies. A bullet hit Fio in the leg and knocked his hip out of place, so he had to crawl away while the shooter was still busting shots. Foolio made it to the front yard of a woman who lived in the neighborhood and asked for help, but she just told him to get off her property and wouldn't do anything for him. Foolio passed out and woke up to the cops and EMTs surrounding him. Then, he blacked out again and woke up in the hospital. The ops were the only ones who thought he was involved in the murder that went down that morning, and the police started questioning him about the situation. Eventually, Foolio proved that he was just going to school that morning and didn't catch the body. But after that day, his whole life took a brutal turn. Foolio actually tried working a normal job in a factory for a little while, but it only lasted a few months, and he went right back to his street activities. Julio went deeper into the streets and started rapping at the same time. At first, it was just something he was doing on the side, but after a couple of his early tracks started popping off, he realized that it could be a ticket out of the trenches. Around the same time, Foolio was getting a buzz in the city. Another rapper named Young and Ace was laying down tracks trying to get his name popping. But instead of linking up and putting on for Jacksonville together, they split the city in half, and dozens of bodies dropped on both sides. Everything allegedly started with Foolio's cousin Zion Brown getting killed in 2017. Zion was at his crib when a dude named Dean Trey Thomas threw a brick through the window and started letting off shots. 2 girls in the house got hit and survived, but Zion tragically didn't make it out alive. Ace and Thomas were tight, and in 2018, they both got hit with charges for allegedly robbing a weed dealer and letting off shots. Ace skated on the case, but a few months later, he suffered a brutal loss that took his beef with Foolio to the next level. Ace, his brother, and 2 of his best friends went out to eat to celebrate his homie's birthday, and when they left the spot, a shooter rode up on them and dumped a clip into their car. Ace got hit 8 times, but he was the only one who wasn't killed. After it went down, Foolio had some shots on social media, and he told SETV that he didn't feel bad about it because he knew they'd do the same thing if he was the one who got killed. Even though he was dissing Ace's dead homies, Foolio said the beef wasn't that deep, but what happened next proved that wasn't the case. In January 2019, a rapper named Boss Goon was shot and killed in Jacksonville outside a nightclub. He had just been released from prison after serving a decade behind bars, and his own dad got hit in the same shooting that killed him. Boss Goon was the brother of Ace's homie Kazo, who's allegedly one of the top shooters in Ace's ATK crew. Kazo already had a rep in the streets, but after his brother died, he allegedly clapped back and killed one of Foolio's best friends, Lil Baby. Lil Baby was always hanging around Foolio, even though his homie K Shorty warned him to stay away. Foolio was already one of the most hated dudes in the city, and K Shorty knew that BBY could get caught up in all the drama and have a target on his back too. Unfortunately, Baby didn't listen, and in February 2019, a shooter walked him down outside his apartment building and started letting off shots. He tried to get away, but the shooter ran up and killed him in broad daylight. As sides started dissing BBY like crazy, Kazo dropped the track QSO with lines like, "We smoke little BBY," and others. Kazo was facing a murder charge for killing BBY, plus he was fighting another case for allegedly killing another, one of Foolio's homies named El Buck. Then, Foolio's side allegedly clapped back by taking out Ace's homie Leaky. Leaky was one of Foolio's biggest ops, and Leaky allegedly even shot his girlfriend's finger off. In April 2020, Foolio's girlfriend, Boobin, was driving his whip when a shooter rode through and started letting off shots at her and her friend. Boobin tried to drive off and duck away from the bullets, but she ended up getting hit in the head, knee, and even lost a finger. Rumors said that Leaky was the one who pulled up on that, and his homie Spinbed dissed Foolio over it on the track. A month after Boobin got hit, Leaky allegedly killed another dude from 6 block named 35. 35 was just posted on the block with some homies when a shooter hopped out of a whip and hit all of them. 35's homies survived, but unfortunately, he didn't make it out. According to some people, Leaky was one of the most active shooters in the city, and he allegedly took out another op. 1 month after 35 died, a rapper named Jump Out Squeeze had just dropped a diss track against Leaky and some of his homies. Then, 10 days later, he was murdered while trying to apply for a job at an Amazon warehouse. Leaky was putting on crazy pressure in the street, and in September 2020, it all caught up to him when he was killed, sitting right next to Spin the Events. They were both in the whip with some other homies when another car pulled up and started letting off shots. By the time they were finished, Leaky was dead. Nobody was ever booked for the murder, but Leaky's sister claims that Foolio was involved with the hit. After he died, Foolio hopped on Rockcast's track All Gas and rapped, "Shot my car up twice, then hit my expletive, now Leaky rest in peace." Then, he named a song after Leaky and said, "100K, he'll shake the room, sweep his block, we don't need no broom. They ask me how high I am, I'm Leaky high, I'm to the moon." Getting Leaky out of the picture was a big win for Theo and 6 Block, but then they suffered 2 more losses back to back. Foolio's homie SP 2 times was found shot to death at the Hilltop Village Apartments, where BBY died. Then, the very next day, Rod K was killed in the same place. After it went down, Spinavan dropped the track I Don't Smoke Kendre and rapped, "RK died, he was spinning, guess he froze up, expletive, his last words cool, the last thing he saw was us." SP 2 times got dropped as well. The violence in Jacksonville was getting crazier every day, but Foolio wasn't safe. Even when he left the city in 2020, he was out in Houston when the ops pulled up and tried to take him out. They shot up his whip and grazed him in the neck, but Foolio hopped right back on social media to clown the ops for not finishing the job.
But Foolio hopped right back on social media to clown the ops for not finishing the job.
Bitch nigga shot me but didn't kill me. On Kendrick. Just fucking stupid.
Foolio's ops in Jacksonville aren't the only ones he has to worry about, though. A video surfaced showing a random guy trying to press Foolio in a mall and make him act out on camera. However, Foolio kept his cool and didn't react. Around the same time, a viral clip came out where Foolio allegedly tried to run up on NBA YoungBoy for not checking in. Foolio and his crew rolled up on YoungBoy's hotel, and the situation got tense. Luckily, nothing serious went down, but fans were worried that He also talked about the mall video and said all they did was record him while outnumbered, and that they could have handled it easily if they really wanted smoke.